Hello everyone, welcome to Indian Economy by Aman Soni. In this new series called PREority, we would be discussing the important concepts for the upcoming prelims examination. Today's topic is decoding the MSP formula. Even before that, let's get into the basics of what is MSP, why we need it, what are all the crops covered under MSP, and what are the factors which influence the MSP price determination. MSP is the price announced by the government to protect the farmers from the distress sale in the economy. Whenever the bumper production happens, the supply of commodities will be more than the demand. When the supply is more than the demand, the price would fall. In order to protect the farmers from excessive fall in the price during the bumper production year, every year the government announces a minimum support price, a basic minimum price at which the government would purchase the commodities from the farmers if the prices fall below this minimum support price. So whenever the market prices fall below this announced price, government would purchase at this price. That price is known as MSP. And what is the major objective of this minimum support price? In order to protect the farmers from distress sale, that is, when the prices have fallen down, the farmer will have no choice but to sell at whatever prices that are available in the market, and that will lead to loss for the farmers, and it has various issues in the economy. One, it leads to farmer suicides. Other, it will lead to loss of agriculture and people moving away from agriculture. It would impact the production capacity of the country. Finally, because the production of commodities, the cereals, is low, it would directly have the nutritional impact on the economy. That would again have the productivity of the labor. So all these factors are related to agricultural productivity. That is why the government announces MSP every year. The main points here for prelims are: it is recommended by the Commission for Agriculture Costs and Prices, that is the CP, and it is approved by the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. So in prelims they might ask a question where they say that it is recommended by CCEA. No, it is recommended by CACP but approved by CCEA. So you have to be careful with the words recommended and approved. And CACP is an attached office in the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. So again here they can twist the statement by giving it is a statutory body. It is an attached office. And what are all the crops that are covered under MSP? Currently you can pause the video and read all the crops covered under MSP, because previously there was a question wherein they asked what are all the crops which are not included under the MSP. So for all these crops the MSP would be announced, and for sugarcane the FRP would be announced. What is FRP? Under FRP, the government would pay the sugar mills the difference between the market price and the announced MSP. That price is known as FRP. And there was also a question in the prelims in the previous year regarding what are the factors that are considered while determining the MSP by the government. So the CACP takes into various factors while determining the minimum support price, that is majorly the cost of production, what are all the changes in the input prices and the difference between input and output prices, what are the trends in the market, demand and supply, and prices differences between various crop, which is known as intercrop parity, and the effect on the cost of living, effect on the general price level, even the international price situation is considered. So all these factors are considered. So again pause the video, read about all the factors that are considered, because it can be a probable question again in the prelims. Now what is the current MSP formula, which is the topic for today? In the budget 2018-19, the government had announced that the MSP would be 1.5 times more than the total cost of production, and in the total cost of production that includes A2 and FL. What is this A2 and FL? This A2 is the actual cost for the farmers. It includes the input cost, it includes the input cost on seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, it includes the cost of land where if it is leased in, it includes the cost of fuel, irrigation, all other factors. And FL is the family labor aspect. So there is an opportunity cost. Whenever the farmer's family and the farmer is working on the field, he is not able to work in some other place, and to that extent he is losing that amount. For example, if the farmer, instead of working in his farm, if he would have gone to an industry and worked there, or if he would have worked in someone else's farm, he would have got an income. Now that is an opportunity cost of working in his farm. Now that also has been considered under the current MSP formula, wherein the imputed cost of the unpaid family labor. The farmer won't pay any wages to the family members. That is why the term imputed cost. Even though that is not actually paid in, it is an economic cost for the overall economy, because someone is working there. If they would have worked in some other place, they would have got that income. That is why the imputed cost of unpaid family labor is also considered. So currently the MSP is given at A2 plus FL, that is these costs and the imputed family labor cost, and 1.5 times of it. So the farmer will get a margin of 50% extra over the cost of production, because it is given at 1.5 times more. So this 50% is given so that it would encourage the farmers to keep cultivating those crops, and it would also motivate the farmer to invest into technology, invest into machinery, and invest into other aspects, better seeds, better input aspects of the farming. Here the MSP could be used as a policy tool by the government to change the cropping pattern. This can also be a probable question, because whenever the government increases MSP on some commodity, the commodity becomes more favorable for cultivation, because as compared to other commodities, the prices of which are low in the market, this particular commodity is giving a higher price. So more farmers would want to cultivate that, because there is a guaranteed minimum support price given by the government. So if the government doesn't want a particular crop to be cultivated, then it can reduce the MSP on that crop and control the cropping pattern, the type of crops which are cultivated in the country. So MSP can indirectly and directly be used to control the cropping pattern in the country. And in the recommendation of the National Commission for Farmers, which was headed by MS Swaminathan, there was a different formula called the C2 formula. C2 formula is the comprehensive cost formula. This is the ideal formula because it involves more costs than the earlier current A2 plus FL formula. So in the comprehensive cost formula, they also factor in the rentals and the interest income on the own land. There, just the imputed cost on the family labor, which is not actually paid but is considered, is taken into account. Here the cost of imputed rent of the own land and the interest on capital. For example, here if you borrow capital in the A2 formula, it would be considered as input cost. But if you are putting in your own capital, if you would have lent it to someone else, you would have got interest in that. Here that interest is also considered. And if you would have leased your land to someone else instead of you directly cultivating it, you would have got some lease amount on that. Even that is considered under the C2 formula. So the C2 formula includes more aspects than the current A2 plus FL formula. And because it includes more aspects, it is known as the ideal formula, and currently the government is not providing at C2 formula because that means more cost for the government. So the government is currently giving at 1.5 times of A2 plus FL. Even under C2, it would be just 50% more than the total comprehensive cost. And what is considered by the CICP when it determines the prices? It considers both the A2 plus FL formula and the comprehensive cost formula while recommending the MSP. But the government would be paying the MSP based only on the A2 plus FL formula, but the C2 formula will be taken into account to see the opportunity cost. What are all the lease costs that the farmers are losing? What is the interest on capital? And if they can cover this, at least for the few of these states. So both the formulas are considered while recommending the MSP, but the government would pay only based on the A2 plus FL formula currently. That's about this topic. Thank you so much.